And welcome in to the Rob and Kale Show. My name is Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening, wherever you are. I come to you from Columbia, South Carolina. My buddy, Carolina Jackpot, joins the show. He is the other leg of the program as he joins us this evening from the upstate. Jackpot, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Rob. How's everybody doing today over in the chat? I see you guys over there. Seth, thank you for the super chat. Saw that.
Yeah, Seth, thank you for the super chat. Before we even got rolling sending us a super chat, Seth is in the good graces of the program. Welcome to the program,
That light bulb is dead.
Yes, my son's complaining about a light bulb. Go play. All right, anyway, we got stuff set up for you this evening. I got a couple little things that I have out there. We kind of have to talk about this FPI thing, Jackpot. I mean, our teams, it's weird because the way the FPI is set up, it's sort of like a bunch of computer analysis, etc. And it changes as the season goes on. If you remember last season, FPI had South Carolina at 5 wins at the start of the year. And then obviously it progressed as it went on. But it's something to talk about on the football front, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's as we can see from last year, it's a somewhat flawed metric.
It is. It did hit on some though. It had Ohio State in the top 2, I believe. It hit on several. So there were some misses.
Did it hit on Vanderbilt?
Yeah, it did. It did hit on Vanderbilt. What are you talking about, honey? Hit on Vanderbilt?
The ACC games.
Anyway, yeah, it hit on some, missed on the others. What a mess, but still, it's kind of cool. I thought we could talk about that. But Jackpot, I have to take my medicine here a little bit. Still sporting my Clemson Tiger hat today, but Clemson goes to the regional and shits the bed again. Yeah, it's the Clemson baseball hat. See?
Damn, I thought you forgot to wipe.
Easy, sir. Anyway, Clemson
What's up with that? Over in the chat section, I'm gonna have to go into the YouTube studio and do something with this. I'm gonna get rid of these damn crowns. These crowns are annoying.
I don't see it on my end. I'm sorry, Jackpot.
Well, I see it over here on mobile when I'm chatting here. It's crowns. We got royalty in the house. Jerry Wells and Army. He's the number one. I think this ranks them by how many chats. It's that TikTok crap. I think wanting you to play some kind of game or some bullshit. I ain't got no interest in it.
Well, we can fix all that on the back end, I guess. But once again, Jackpot, win or lose, both of us show up when our teams lose. And I tell you what, Clemson losing in the regional. If you remember, go back a couple of shows because we don't pull these out of archive. You catch the podcast edition; it's always up. Just subscribe on however you get your podcast, and you can find where I believe it was Tiger Red Devil, don't get your hopes up for this Clemson baseball team because they are going to shit the bed eventually. And it has to do with their pitching and not having a second, set of starters that can go out there and pitch. But also in the Kentucky game, they just kicked the ball all over the goddamn field. And they're just not a team that's built for tournament baseball.
What was Sunday's date?
Sunday was the
June 1st.
June 1st, yeah.
Well, they did make it to June, but barely.
Right.
Okay. But that was kind of embarrassing. At some point in the rivalry, even if it is Clemson, there are some points when. And maybe you've seen this with the Gamecocks as well. On the flip side, is it fair to say at some point it's not fun to watch anymore and just end the suffering now?
Well, look, I knew after the matchup with West Virginia, I knew when West Virginia rallied for those runs Yeah, Clemson had a little rally in the ninth and got to a point where the tying run could come to the plate. But I knew if they dropped that game, it was over. Completely over. Even if you go the next day and you beat Kentucky, you're not beating West Virginia twice.
No. If you lose in that second, whoever loses in that Saturday matchup, if somebody goes up 2 games to Dick, they pretty much got it in the bag.
Well, I knew Clemson just didn't have it. Didn't have it. So
well, hell, y'all, you had to wait, and it was like the 7th inning before you guys got your shit together against
right, and Clemson played well in some points of that game, but then, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there, Jackpot. I think they quit in the Kentucky game, just booting the ball all over the damn field. They looked like they didn't show up, like they just didn't give a shit. And I don't know if that's something that I lay that at the feet of Coach Bakich, and that's the product he put out on the field, so he's responsible for that. And I think that maybe West Virginia took it out of the sales for them.
Well, he needs to get Jack Legg out of the dugout. What the hell is he doing in there?
He's his mentor, man.
He's not the coach. He doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need to be in the dugout. Dabo doesn't need to be in the dugout. Whoever did whatever, CJ Spiller doesn't need to be in the dugout. It's fucking baseball. Army says stickball is too slow to follow for me anymore. Long games. No, they put a clock in there to slow the games up.
Yeah, the games are
college and the majors. So
yeah,
it's a little bit more friendly now. I think the major leagues had to do that a couple years ago because they were losing fans. Major League was in trouble a little bit.
Well, I got one other thing that I wanted to put out there, Jackpot. And this isn't really a shot at the South Carolina fans, but Mississippi State fired their coach, Chris Lamanis, and they went to back-to-back World Series in 2019 and 2021, and of course won a national title in his 7-year tenure there. So think about that. 2 trips to the College World Series and a College World Series title. They didn't really play up to snuff this year. They were a middle-of-the-pack SEC team. And Mississippi State said, sorry, sir, get the fuck out. And when you see that, and then, once again, I'm not picking at you, Jackpot, but if I'm a Gamecock fan and I see that a coach that won a national title within the past 4 seasons and went to the College World Series twice is being shown the door when they finish middle of the pack in the conference, but we're keeping a geriatric on our bench, that would piss me to my core.
It does piss me. It pisses me off that they maybe they can't get rid of him. I don't know because at Mississippi State, Jeff Levy's making a good bit less money than Shane Beamer does. And
right.
And so I don't know how much they were paying this guy, but that was probably a pretty big contract they got rid of. This Lamanis, whatever it is.
Lamonis,
he was getting paid pretty handsomely. So
he was the 11th highest paid coach in college baseball last year.
There was an article over on the Big Spur from the new athletic director explaining why they didn't fire Pop, but I didn't read it because I didn't want to read a bunch of bullshit. So
right, why would you want to read something that's just complete fuckery? Because there's absolutely zero reason
they're not gonna tell you why. So.
Right, they're not going to be honest with you.
Walk It Off Sports says the Braves need to fire Snicker. I don't know that I don't agree with you there because they dropped 2 out of 3 to the damn Phillies. Now they dropped 2 out of 3 to the damn Red Sox, and now they're losing to this team and lost last night. A lot of talent on that diamond there.
Will says GBO 5th straight super regional appearance. Yes, Tennessee's looking good. LSU's looking really strong too, by the way. So there's that. All right, Jackpot. I've got the FPI rankings here. I thought we'd run over those really quick if you were cool with that. Let's look at some of these, and of course, we'll take calls here in just a moment. Brandon says maybe Melaneri left a dumpster fire. He's the most winning coach in NCAA history and has won a winning coach in the NCAA history and has won a natty. Brother, go to the Big Spur and read John Whittle's stuff that he put out. And I've worked with John Whittle on the radio. John Whittle is not out to lambaste anyone. He works for the Big Spur. That's kind of a homer site for the Gamecocks. The article he put out about the stuff that's going on with that program, I believe
I'm convinced he's not a great person.
I believe he's graduated to being a piece of poo. And that article definitely puts it out there. And Whittle writing it and posting it and putting it out there and as what happened, knowing that it's going to be hard for him to walk back into that press conference and have to face Molinari face to face. I mean, it's a set of balls to do that. So, go and read that. I think you can be a winner, but when you're doing the stuff that he did to the players allegedly, what a mess. Anyway, FPI rankings, Jackpot. Let's look at these really quick here. We'll start up at the top. Texas is 1, Georgia 2, Bama 3, Ohio State 4, Penn State, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Miami, Tennessee, Clemson, LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, and South Carolina. So that puts South Carolina, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But they're just ahead of Oklahoma, but behind Auburn.
Please make that make sense.
Exactly. Exactly.
Make it make sense. Make it make fucking sense, Rob. Make it make sense. I mean, and you tell me that all this is solely numbers. It's all solely metrics. None of it is hype. Bullshit.
Well,
bullshit.
You know what?
Where's
Jackpot,
Florida? Where's Florida at? Everybody's high on Florida, though. So,
all right. Well, Florida. Let's see. Florida would be the Gamecocks are 15th. Florida is 16th, 17th, 18th in the rankings. 19th is Southern Cal. SMU is 20. Let's give you the top 25. Kansas State at 21. Arkansas at 22. Mizzou at 23. Arizona State at 24. Nebraska rounds out the top 25. Let me add number 26, Jackpot. 26 is your first opponent of the season, the Virginia Tech Hokies.
I mean, I trust Florida more than Auburn at this point.
I
mean, going 7-5, 8-5 against the schedule they had last year. At least their quarterback play is proven. I mean, when he's healthy, we don't know with Auburn. I don't know if Jackson Arnold is going to be any good under Hugh Freeze. It was terrible last year, absolutely awful. And we're told about what a great quarterback whisperer old Hugh Freeze is. Well, I mean, we didn't see any progression from the guy from Michigan State the past 2 years. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not that sold on them yet.
I'm with you on that, but I have to go with you with make it make sense on the fact of why is A&M up so high above everybody else? I mean, it seems like we're fed this Texas A&M thing every season, and I just don't get it.
I mean, they were on a heater last year until they played Carolina, and if you'll remember in that game, I mean, they're running back. That guy had like 700 yards going into the game against us. He was on pace to go well over 1,000 yards. Le'Veon Moss, I believe, was his name.
Right.
And he tore his ACL. So he's coming back, provided that he comes back healthy. I mean, that could be a problem. I don't know.
Seth, since Seth was giving us super chats earlier, I posted the link to the article that John Whittle wrote about behind the scenes for the South Carolina baseball team. That is in the chat there, sir. You can read at your leisure. But
Are they going to
not
be able to read it though, or is it behind a paywall?
It's not that article is not behind a paywall.
Oh shit!
So you can go and check that out. That one is not.
I know.
under the
Back
VIP
when I was
section.
making a bunch of about 5-6 years ago, when I was making a bunch of YouTube prediction videos, like I made like 15 of them one year for different schools, and I would go post them on their 24/7 sites. And some of them, I mean, you could actually get on and post things. Now, some of them, I mean, you couldn't though. I mean, there's some that you know, the bigger, I guess the better or whatnot, you'd have to be a member to post anything. But I know I got into Maryland's, I think, and even Nebraska.
Some of them are, they have to and not necessarily control the narrative, but they want you to be a member so that they can see who you are, because there's a lot of posts that shouldn't be there, vulgarity, etc. And for some of them, they're just hoping people come and post because they don't have the following.
Well, that if you know anything about me, that's one thing I'd never do is anything with vulgarity. That's strictly off limits for me.
Well, anyway. All right, so we have that jackpot. Projected wins for Clemson is at 9.7. Projected wins for South Carolina is at 7.3. So, you know, you use the over-under technique. South Carolina's at 7, Clemson's at 10. That's about where Vegas has them in the if you went and placed some money on them, I guess. But I don't know. I look at these and I like to keep track of them, but here's the other interesting thing. Chance to win the national title. South Carolina's at 1%. Now, I'm not throwing shade here because Auburn's at 1.1. LSU is at 1.5. Clemson is at 2.1. Tennessee's at 2.8. Your leader is the Texas Longhorns at 24%.
Well, okay. Hold on. Let me get something straight here. How the heck is Tennessee got a higher percentage to win the Natty than Clemson? When Clemson plays in a weaker conference against a weaker schedule,
I'm sorry. I got them mixed up. 2.8 for Clemson, 2.3 for Tennessee. So a little
it's about to go off.
Better.
2.3 is still too high. When you got them at 2.3 and LSU at 1.5 or something? That makes sense.
Yeah, so some of these don't make sense. Now, chance to make the playoffs. This is interesting, jackpot. The South Carolina Gamecocks at 18.4 to start the season. Oklahoma's at 25%. That's
the light bulb is old.
All right, son. I'll take care of it.
Hey, any more of that, you're going to have to get to work on this podcast.
I know, right? The light bulb bugs him, so one of our light bulbs is burnt out. I got to change it. Anyway, so chance to make the playoffs, 18 for South Carolina, 25 for Oklahoma. That's kind of interesting. Clemson's at 30%. Tennessee at 47% jackpot.
What?
Yes, sir. No, I'm sorry. These numbers are driving me stupid here. Damn it. The way this spreadsheet sets up is silly.
Clemson should be at 47% or higher.
Clemson's at 47 and in Tennessee's at 38. That's my fault. An error. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's the numbers for that. 83% chance for Texas to make the playoffs, 78 for Georgia, 70 for Ohio State. And you mentioned Florida earlier. They had them at a pretty good percentage too. Let me see if I can find the Gators.
Matthew says OU is a lock. To do what? Make a bowl game? I agree.
14.5 for 13 for the Florida Gators for their chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, they got a tough schedule ahead of them.
Yeah, well, I'm with you.
I think they go to LSU. They got the matchup with Georgia. They host Texas. I think they go to A&M. They go to Ole Miss. I'm not mistaken. So their schedule's pretty rough.
To win their conference, they've got Clemson at 34%.
That's it?
Yeah, just 34%. Yes, sir. I made double check the number. 34% for Clemson to win the conference.
I don't. Are you sure that seems really low? And I'm not trying to.
No. I mean, I'm checking it too because it's like, man, that looks silly.
I'm not trying to fact check you there, but that seems low to me.
Yeah, win the conference percentage. The Clemson
And
Tigers.
I hate it. It's like shoving a piece of wood under my fingernails to give those guys credit. But
well, when you really look at the stuff with hype, when you look at the way that Clemson's schedule shakes out, they get SMU at home. They do have Miami, but I believe that game is at home as well.
No, they don't play Miami.
No, I'm sorry. They got Florida State. People think a lot of Florida State.
Everybody's picking them. Everywhere I'm looking, like all these metrics, I'm like, who's going to be like? I saw something that it had like point totals assigned to like most improved, like they were getting plus numbers, and the teams that were going to take the biggest backslide had negative numbers. Like the number one negative team in the country as far as taking a backslide this year is predicted to be Army. Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess I could get that they've lost a lot to graduation. And the biggest plus number was FSU. I'm really interested to find out what we're basing that on.
Well, but maybe they're just thinking because they were such shit last year, Jackpot. I mean, to
win 7 games, I mean, that's a 5-game improvement. I mean, that would have to be the biggest turnaround in college football in a couple of years. So,
well, the Gamecocks won 5 games and then won 9 the next year. So that's a
4-game improvement.
Yeah. So, just whatever on that front. But anyway, when you look at it, though,
I want to talk about them for a second. If I'm Florida State, though, I'm a little bit concerned. This quarterback they got coming in from
Boston College.
Tommy Castellanos, what he's going by. Now, I remember his name being Thomas Castellanos the entire time he's been at Boston College, and now I guess he changed his name to Tommy to come to Florida State because that's all I'm seeing anywhere. But if I remember correctly, last year, and he's playing for Bill O'Brien, they're about, game 8, 9, he kind of got benched, and then he just decided he wasn't going to play anymore. And he split the team or something.
Let me ask you something, and just you Jackpot and I are both Florida State haters.
I'm not necessarily a Florida State hater. No, that's not it. But I'm looking at that, and I'm like, is that what I really want to bring into my locker room? Is that what I want?
That was going to be my point with this, though. You know what? I'll take the role of the hater here, but let me ask you this, Jackpot. If you are a quarterback, would you rather go and work with Bill O'Brien, who has coached Deshaun Watson in the pros, also coached with Tom Brady in the pros when he was with New England, went and revived a program from a sexual assault case up at Penn State? Would you rather go play for that coach, or would you rather go play for Mike Norvell? Which one would you rather go and play for? And this young man determined, I'd rather not go to a coach who knows what a good quarterback is. I'd rather go to Mike Norvell. That tells you all you need to know about this guy. He could change his name to Dipshit now because that's just as viable as Tommy from Thomas in Boston College. Yeah. So, I don't know. What a mess.
I packed your lunch fool, says, why so serious?
I don't
know that any of us here have been serious ever.
I forgot Bryce Young's Heisman season. Very good there, Matt. That's a good point, sir.
The only thing I'm serious about is dinner. I mean, other than that, I'm pretty laid back.
I packed lunch. I'd rather watch football on the TV with my eyes closed. Very good, sir. Whatever you need to do. All right, anyway, I want to bring you in here. What you think, who do you think's overrated, underrated? If you have predictions for the Super Regionals, we'll be happy to take those. Somebody asked about my pick for the NBA Finals earlier. I can't remember who it was. I know we don't talk a lot of hoops here. I like Oklahoma City in 5. If you want to,
If it's the Thunder, it's under.
The Thunder, Ziggy Cam. Hello, Ziggy.
Yeah, he's coming over the top. Isn't Indiana? Don't they have some kind of insane odds to win the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean they were. If you bet on them early, you made some money.
So they're huge. They're huge underdogs in this thing.
They are huge underdogs, and I've come to the conclusion that when I watch Oklahoma City play, they've got one of the youngest teams that plays the best defense, and they got a lot of tall guys that could shoot. When that happens, you're a pretty good team. So, yeah, Matt says I think
I don't know about them. I don't trust any team that their nickname is named after a fucking AMC car that was produced with the Gremlin.
Okay. I don't think that's what they were. I think it's actually okay. Well, whatever.
No, it is. That's what it is.
All right.
Heard they were going to call them the International Scouts, which would have been much cooler, but they chose the Pacer instead.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
I packed your lunch fool says, "How good is Mizzou going to be this year?"
They got a lot of transfers coming in.
They don't have the toughest schedule in the world, and Drinkowitz always just seems to be a wild card,
Jackpot. When you look at that and Mizzou on the schedule, I still think that there's most South Carolina fans think, oh, we're going to win that game. When you do your little chalk up there, hey, we got Mizzou, we're just going to win. But they have been a thorn in your ass for a while now. I mean,
they have.
Drinkowitz lost last year is his first loss to South Carolina ever, and South Carolina seemed to have that game in control.
And it took damn near a miracle to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you Drink almost went into Columbia and won. That's why.
Yeah, that was awful. Second half play in that game. You want to talk about almost a colossal bed shitting.
Yeah.
And
that was almost Clemson baseball bed shitting level. You know what? Up until September, Jackpot, midweek of September, bed shitting is going to be. When I make a reference to Clemson baseball, that I mean bed shitting. On this show, bed shitting equals Clemson baseball. So if I say they Clemson baseballed it up, they bed shitted. Because God damn it, they fucking made us all look like assholes. Even though I saw it coming, it still fucking hurts this weekend. So anyway, Daniel, welcome to the program.
What's up, guys?
Hey, fuck your team for
Good.
still
Are you
being
still
in the playoffs,
at the beach, or are you back?
Oh, I come back home today, unfortunately.
Okay, well, but fuck your team for being in the playoffs, just so you know.
Yeah, we've 4 out of the last 5 years in the Super Regionals.
That's great.
But
hey, I read a stat the other day that Tennessee hit 60 less homers in this season because this season they started checking bats. I don't know if that's true. No, I read that stat. And
I've seen that too.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not bullshitting. I think it's kind of funny because Tennessee's still back in the the Elite Eight, whatever you want to call it. But it seems like people just throw rocks at Tennessee like that. It's like they still made the Elite Eight, asshole, and they did it with 6 without the homers. So
right, they found a new way to play. It's they're playing a little small ball this year, so they still got a few dudes that can launch it out of the ballpark, but not last year. Literally 1 through 9 was dangerous. Could hit it out at any time. This year they don't have that, but they do have they have a little bit more speed on this team. I feel like a lot better base running and stuff like that.
What they have is a coach that hangs his balls out there. They're not going to fucking have 7 errors in one game in the damn regionals. That's not happening.
Yeah, well, if it goes to Dean Curley, they will. Luckily, he doesn't get the ball it doesn't get hit to him every time. He's
pretty ass
bad.
in right field and leave him there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember when we were kids, that's where if you sucked, that's where they put you. Like all the best players were at shortstop and second base or whatever. But if you were a shitty player and the coach had to put you in because it's like a Y league or whatever, they put your ass in right field.
Yep.
And then they would – that's where the shitty kid was, the kid that's like, you know, he goes out there to play, but they
Picking
hit
his
the first
nose,
ball,
watching
he's
butterflies.
picking his nose and
Yeah.
watching the other side of the thing, you know. Clemson baseballing it up. That's what that kid is.
Yeah. How about Murray State? That's insane.
Anybody name a famous alumni from Murray State? Because I know one.
Ja Morant.
John Moran is one. That's very
Frank
good.
Beamer coached there.
Frank Beamer did coach there. Houston Nutt coached there.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite is Popeye Jones. Google Popeye Jones. He is an alien-looking motherfucker, but played in the NBA and would get you rebounds. He played for the Racers there. So there you go.
Yeah. Them and Coastal. Coastal also.
Well,
That's not a
Coastal's.
surprise anymore.
That's not. I mean,
Well,
Coastal won a national title not too long
yeah.
ago. So
No, I agree, but everybody was saying that. Yeah, I think Florida was in their regional, right?
Yeah.
They had a tough regional.
Literally everybody was picking Florida to come out of that regional and kind of just dismissing Coastal, and Coastal come out there and whooped ass.
Oh, now weren't here Sunday, Rob. But we didn't talk about that yet. What's your thoughts on the Florida coach and his little outbursts?
I mean, they apologize.
Yeah, he apologized. That's all great, but you never should have done what you had to make that apology for. That was ridiculous.
But jackpot, this is a school that had a coach that was accused of showing his dick to everyone on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. So
And
he's
like,
I mean, right now in terms of the three big men's sports, Billy Napier's having to hang up the banner as far as the morality with those.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous. I mean, that other coach, the Coastal Carolina coach, chewed his ass in that press conference. I mean, I agree with him. I mean, just totally childish behavior.
Luckily for O'Sullivan, the Wake Forest coach said something worse to a Tennessee player, so it kind of got brushed under the rug after that happened.
I saw that, but I mean, he could, nobody heard what he could always. I didn't say that.
He should have, but instead he come out and apologized for saying it.
So the stuff with that, I mean, they
he might know it's a damn region. There's cameras all over the place.
Yeah, for real. That was stupid. And then the guy called that literally 4 pitches later, Jack's a home run.
Yeah, so Coastal's coach called O'Sullivan a bully for his rant. What a mess. That was the term. I want to make sure I had the right term. You're a bully. Come on, man.
A bully? What's up with this talk about that's become a very in vogue word and term to use the past few years. A bully. I wouldn't call him that. I'd call him a pompous dick.
Yeah.
Entitled. I mean, you think it's just your birthright to come in here and tell us how we're going to run shit? This is not your stadium. It's not your school.
Yeah, there was another YouTuber. You know who he is, Jackpot. He's a South Carolina fan that talks a lot of baseball. And he was kind of taken up for him, like he didn't really do anything wrong, but
well, I mean, the Florida.
Someone we know? Who the fuck was this? It wasn't Gamecock Chuck. I know he.
No, it's I just didn't want to. I don't like to come on somebody else's YouTube and mention somebody else.
The Spurs Up show, dude.
Yeah, Chris Phillips. Yeah. Him.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean,
he did that for clicks. Nothing he does is real.
He's SEC unfiltered man now.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not hating on him either. I'm just saying I heard him take up for him.
He's going to take up for because he's an SEC coach.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, that was wrong, and he knows it. Florida fans were taking up for the guy all over the place, and
imagine that.
I can admit when our coach is wrong. I was pissed 2 years ago when Shane Beamer did the press conference at Mizzou, and we lost 34-12, and he's sitting here in the press conference complaining about their bathroom facilities and how loud it is in there. And I'm like, you really, man? I'm like, what? This is an awful look. You're sitting here bitching about their shitters, and that team just went out there and cut your nuts off and fed them to you.
Hey, Jackpot, I want to play the little. This is from X. This won't get us in trouble.
Oh yeah, that's the video I think.
Let's check this out really quick with O'Sullivan. Now, he is ripping the associate AD, okay? Which the associate AD is, in the grand scheme of things, is just basically they're learning to be an AD, but I mean, they're not. They do a lot of the legwork, okay? At a lot of different spots. But this is Coastal's AD getting the business from Sullivan. Now, the reason that he's pissed off is because their game was moved from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. and he lost his shit. Look at him, he's pissed. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad. Yeah.
Now, the video I watched when he was out on the concourse.
Right.
Well, I think there's two different ones where he.
Yeah. He acted a little bit inappropriately in a couple of places there.
Yeah, and I think it comes down here to the rest of them. Hold on, let's see here. I don't know if the other ones are here or not. Anyway, well, there's that. But the whole gist of it is that O'Sullivan did some shit he shouldn't have done. And
no, I thought that was out of here. Never mind.
Anyway, there you go. So, yeah. Anyway, the what else did I have? Oh, you think the FPI is correct on your Vols there, sir? Since you're here.
Was that you talking about the ESPN?
Yeah, the FPI has the
At 10?
Vols at number 10. Clemson's at 11. Y'all are at 10. Behind A&M. Is that bother
Yeah.
you?
No, I would probably have us somewhere in the teens, honestly, to start out, and then I think 10's a little high for us right now,
Yeah, well.
or low, however you look at it.
Hi.
Yeah, I'd have us somewhere around
High.
15 or 16.
Yeah. Maybe that, we should just look at it like how they project. I don't know. It
really, I mean,
are silly.
if we have a quarterback that can perform, then yes, that I think that's probably pretty accurate. If not, then we're not going to obviously be that high. It all comes down to quarterback position.
I just think it's going to be kind of tough on this guy, and I know he's played quarterback for several years in college. I just think it's going to be tough on this guy coming in May.
Yeah.
As opposed to coming in December.
I forgot your nighttime.
To learn that offense.
I'll get it from you in a minute, okay?
Yeah, and
how similar
that's
that what he
I'll get you in a second.
ran in App State. I mean, I don't know that anybody's sure.
All right, bye. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't, and that's if he's the starter. It's not a lock that he's the starter. From everything I hear on the Vols, like on our message boards, and just through VolQuest, they're like there's no lock that he's going to be the starter. Now he could win. If he wins the job, then that probably tells you that. If he wins the job, that probably tells you that the guys that they got behind him, they just don't trust yet. Because I don't see how you come in that late
Pack
win the
for
job.
Lunch Fool says a lot of talent and depth on this team. Our wide receiver room is the best in the SEC. I guarantee you are the only person who believes that. If you don't believe that,
Who said that? What fan said that?
one of your boys.
Oh my God! Now that's what gets me. We
They
have
don't even have a
talent.
wide receiver I can name.
So we have 4 and 5 stars at the wide receiver position everywhere. The problem is they're all unproven. So no, you can't say they're the most talented because you haven't seen them play.
I've said that. I've said that for a while. Gamecock fans get pissed when I say that about their running back room. We have no fucking clue about any of them. But
It's just unproven.
we've got a guy that's supposed to come from fucking Utah State. He's gonna be the best ever. Okay.
I mean, I'm not even at this point. I'm not even worried if he doesn't play. I mean, we're good behind him. Oscar Alloway's a good player.
That wants another Honda.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of in the same boat at running back. We lost our bell cow, but I've learned with Heupel, they're going to run the ball and they're going to run it efficiently.
Well, that guy that's coming in from Duke, he was pretty good.
Star Thomas, yeah, and he's probably going to be the third back. I'll go ahead and
He's kind of a change of pace back, isn't he? He's not
Yeah.
like he's a
Every
guy like a third down back, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably what he's going to play a lot at Tennessee. I think you're going to see a lot of Bishop, who you've seen a lot last year with Sampson, and you know he was a walk on from Knoxville that earned a scholarship.
I bet he drops from running back and drops out to be a wide receiver in a lot of sets. I bet
that would be great.
I bet that Heupel will do some of that with him just to get him in space. So because when he gets the ball in his hands, he's special. But I don't know if he can't take a pounding of, hey, I'm going to run between the tackles. But I bet you that's what Heupel does with him. He'll get him in on third down and break him out as a wide receiver and give an extra look there that, especially if teams come in with if they're not in the dime package, they're going to have issues because who's going to cover that guy? So
yeah, we'll
Billy
see what they do.
Everyone's seen the ESPN FPI rankings.
Get to the show earlier, Billy.
That's
turn off fucking Gunsmoke and get here on time,
Billy. Bus driver says, "Are you coming to the game in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, Jackpot?" Possibly.
Anyway.
And also that y'all talking about overrated teams coming into the season. You almost have to look at LSU again. I said this last year before the season on this show. Said they're not going to be as good as they're projected to be. They've done this for like 3 years now. They're going to come out and lose to Clemson. That's what's going to happen. They're going to lose 3 games during the season. They're going to be just outside the playoff again. And we'll be having the same conversation next year.
Like LSU hasn't won an opener since Joe Burrow was there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they're not a good team,
wrap
but
your head around that for a second. They've not won an opener.
Florida's talking
Joe
about
Burrow
going to Baton Rouge and beating them at night.
Oh yeah, the god DJ Lagway that everybody thinks is the best thing since fucking sliced bread.
I've seen that happening. I don't think South Carolina stands a real good chance of that either. I'd give them like a.
It's hard to see them.
South Carolina, in my opinion, has a better chance to go in there and win than fucking.
I agree.
That demented highway patrolman they've got on the sideline.
Well,
I agree.
Rob, you make a good point, and this is where we look at a team and see if you and coaching staff and see if you're able to make this team mature a little bit from one year to the next. Because last year, if you remember the Ole Miss game where the only thing we were just so angry and focused on Juice Wells. This year, I'm afraid they're just going to be focused on we got screwed, got fucked, and not be focused on that game.
We need to bookmark this episode right here because if that happens to them,
I mean, go in there and play like it's your first time playing them, just like you did.
How about just go there and play fucking, go in there and play like you played at Clemson. That should be your mentality of every fucking road game you have. No one's going to give you a snowball's chance in hell of going down there and winning, but play like you were going to Clemson and play.
Well, if you
watch what happens.
Certain people in 2022 when we played Clemson, we had all of your play calls.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, ours too. You had ours too.
In 2022, what happened with that game is Clemson decided, hey, let's stop giving the ball to Will Shitley, as Jackpot calls him. Let's not give him the ball, even though he's gashing the ever-living fuck out of them. Let's try to get cute and call him plays.
And let's fumble every third play.
Let's fumble every third play. Let's let Spencer Rattler throw an interception in the end zone and then still walk up and down the field. And, hey, let's try to make fucking plays on special teams. It is Pride Month with the Flower of Power. Let's try to do that. That's why we fucking lost. So stop with that bullshit. We could have had every fucking play you had. That had nothing to do with us calling plays like bitches on offense. So, whatever on that front. I don't know. All right. Well, yeah, I'm glad you heard you got safe back from your travels, sir.
Yep. Good luck to everybody in the College World Series. I hope we beat fucking Arkansas's ass in the Super Regional, but they're one team that kind of has our number in baseball for some reason.
That's right. Yeah, Tennessee got they got a tough draw there.
Yeah, I wish we could have got anybody else.
The team to beat, brother. They're looking.
Yeah, you'd have thought they'd got a easier draw than that. You to try to get. couple of good teams in the World Series there. Ugh.
Yeah, Tennessee. I think the SEC will probably get 3 in because I think LSU is going to win, and I think Auburn will also beat Coastal. But not that one will probably go to 3 games. That's going to be a hard series. But and then obviously Arkansas and Tennessee, one of them has to lose, which sucks because I think they could honestly
South
get
Carolina.
put in.
We beat them in the Super Regional the first year that we won the College World Series. Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, well, hey, man, thanks, Daniel, for checking in, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right, boys, have a good one.
Appreciate
you.
you, man. All right, Jarrett joins the program. Jarrett, what's up, buddy?
And really, I just got on. I was
Good for you.
I was talking about Clemson, and maybe one of their struggles might be running back and kicker
Yeah.
because you saw.
No, they got the same kicker they had last year. Kicker that was won the ACC championship for them. They have the same kicker, so they're
He had a 55-yard field goal to win the damn thing.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about kicker as the running back room where, you lose a guy that rushed for 1,100 yards and you're like, oh, well, we're just going to run somebody else out there. We don't know who the fuck the running back is. We're just going to run him out there. That is the definition of dumb comment from our running back room's strong because we have this 4-star and that 5-star. You don't know how the fuck those guys play. You have no clue.
Yeah.
But we're gonna think he's gonna be great. Shut up. We knew Moffa was gonna be good because he was on Will Shitley's ass. I mean, on it like the whole time. Getting him for carries and everything else. And you know what? If he'd have held on to the football, he may have outplayed Shipley and been the starter by himself. So we knew we had that coming back. We don't have that this year. So,
Did he make an NFL roster?
Yeah, Will Shipley got a damn Super
Not
Bowl
him,
ring.
Moffa.
Moffa's on Moffa got drafted by where? I can't remember. Hold on, I'll tell you in a minute. Phil Moffa, I think he got picked in the let's see here. Phil Moffa draft. He got picked in the 7th round by the Dallas Cowboys.
Hmm.
He's gonna go in there and try to get the carries that who was the Gamecock running back that the Cowboys had last year?
Nico Dowdle.
Yeah, so Dowdle's in Baltimore now, and Moffa is going to be.
He's in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck
Rico
getting
Dowdle
carries
went to
there.
Baltimore. Huh?
Good luck to him getting some carries there.
No, I'm sorry. He's with the Panthers. I'm sorry.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, he's with the
Panthers.
Panthers.
Backing up Derrick Henry. He ain't getting no damn carry.
Yeah, well, he's going to be with the Panthers. He'll get some carries there.
Did you say there was a video of Derrick Henry working out? He was running up this fucking hill, and he had like a couple of tires strapped behind him, and he's running up the hill with the football. Dude, I mean, he ran a long way too, and I'm like, this dude, I mean, he ran up that hill faster than I could possibly, quite frankly, fall down it.
He's the biggest running back in the NFL.
Huge.
He has a weird diet too. I remember that it's large portions of eggs, lots of complex carbohydrates like rice, potatoes, and gluten-free pancakes, avocados, stuff like that. He has banana, an avocado or kale, IV fluids containing vitamins and nutrients 3 times a week. During the season, he doesn't eat until 4 or 5.
Wait, did you say he takes an IV?
IV fluids involving nutrients and vitamins 3 times a week.
So he just goes somewhere, I'm assuming, to a doctor or a nutritionist or something?
He probably has somebody that, he makes enough money where he's got somebody that comes to his house and gives him the IVs.
Okay, same thing. So someone comes to his mansion and just sticks a needle in his arm and pumps an IV in there.
Well, they have IV bars.
What are they God? What are they called? athletic greens or
Yeah.
something through an IV.
They have IV bars. Did you know that, Jackpot? Where like if you're going out or whatever, you can go and get an IV full of whatever to help you bounce back. They have those now.
IV bars.
Yeah, they call it an IV bar.
Is that like a granola bar?
No, it's like you go like it's like an IV where a place like where you get an IV bar. Yeah.
So
have
when I
one
go
in-
into a bar, I'm expecting just something like Cheers.
All right, well here it
somebody
is.
like Norm. I'm not expecting needles and.
This one is called Relax and Revive in Colombia. Let's see where it is here. At the website says experience the benefits of NAD plus IV mental clarity. It helps you with let's see here. IV therapy, 100% fast delivery, 100% absorption, and prevents illness is what the website says. So you can get IV drips and everything else. So
I fucking hate needles. I hate needles.
Well, so let's look at this service packages, Jackpot. For a silver drip, every month, 2 drips and 2 boosters monthly is $350. Oh, okay. You can get B12 injections for $75, a lipotropic. I don't know what the hell that is, but that lipotropic with L-carnitine for $150 every month. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm just going to go get an IV to get an IV, but anyway, we should pull together and get Jackpot an IV gift certificate for Christmas. Have him walking in, hey, I'm here for my IV. I want to feel
you
better.
can get me another Jim Cornette cameo or even a.
The Jim Cornette cameo is great.
I'd take a Tony Schiavone. No IVs. Thank you.
No IVs, but the Jim Cornette cameo was great. He motherfucked the Gamecocks and everything. It was pretty cool.
That was
hilarious.
Or
tickets to see Tony Hinchcliffe.
No, Jackpot's in the. He'd rather meet Tony Schiavone.
You know who Tony Hinchcliffe is, don't you, Carolina Jackpot?
What's that?
Tony. You know who Tony Hinchcliffe is, don't you? Tony Hinchcliffe.
No, I have no clue. Who is that?
He's a comedian. He's at that place in Texas where Joe Rogan has his comedy club, and they all do stupid shit. I thought he's really funny, Tony Hinchcliffe.
I have to look him up. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up.
He's there regularly. But anyway, I was going to talk about football. South Carolina, I mean, they're a dark horse in my opinion. I think they're a dark horse to win the SEC championship. A dark horse. I got them.
We talk about dark horses every year in the SEC tournament, but in the SEC championship game, but it comes down to last year's Texas and Georgia. You really don't have an outside team that makes it. I mean, it's essentially the same, 4 or 5 teams? Yeah. I'd be more shocked if, because, I mean, the SEC, I mean, there's great teams there, don't get me wrong, but it's very top heavy. And it just seems like we get the same 4 or 5 teams that are always right there in the mix.
Yeah.
Good thing about the Gamecocks, they got a lot of questions on defense they're going to have to answer, got a lot of holes they're going to have to fill. I think they can do it. They got some talented players. I think they got a really good defensive coordinator, too, and some good coaches over there. So, I mean, the thing is, the easier portion of their schedule is first. So, they could potentially still be able to win those games while, not having the best effort defensively.
I bet your lunch fool says
by around game 5, you got LSU and Bama and Oklahoma creeping onto the slate. So it sets up for a team that needs to get right on one side of the ball early.
I Packed Your Lunch Fool says, y'all aren't going to clown Tennessee every year while you talk about your dumpster juice teams like gods. Nobody said on this program that either one of our programs were going to be gods, sir. Nobody really ripped your Tennessee program. We talked about
what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're listening to, sir. But wrong channel. The only thing we've talked about with Tennessee that I remember was we talked about how you were going to take that Duke running back and possibly put him out in a position where he's going to play some wide receiver. But no one talked about your program. Go back to your hole, sir.
If anything, Tennessee's going to go and regress and be 9-3. I think they're going to be 9-3. They're going to drop some games.
Oh, Billy says he's referring to comments. Okay, fair enough. Either way,
I think.
What's that?
Go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
I think Lou's got Tennessee going 8-4. I got Tennessee going 9. Yeah, I got them going 9-3, but I don't know who they're going to drop the fourth game to. So I don't know. That's why it's saying 8-4. I don't know who's on their schedule besides Georgia, Bama.
If that bunch of new players they've got is gels quickly, Mississippi State's got to win a conference game against somebody, and Josh Heupel has problems on the road. You laugh now, but I'm telling you, they could drop that game and start Vegas. Would not shock me.
Nobody thought they'd lose on the road at Arkansas last year with all triple D titties. So
don't they play Oklahoma again?
Yeah, they play them at home.
Maybe Oklahoma beats them. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the fourth game besides Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. I'm trying to think of the fourth game besides the one y'all just said, Mississippi State. I can't think of one. I'm trying to think of a team.
Wait, you said Alabama and Georgia? And
Alabama and Florida.
Okay, Alabama and Florida. Yeah, they're going to lose in Florida. Until they go down there and break that curse, I don't think they're going to beat them there.
Your lunch fool says your beaches in South Carolina even suck. You got to travel to North Carolina to find a decent beach. Yeah, because everybody raves about the beaches in North Carolina. I hear about it all the time.
We only have fucking PGA Tour stops on our beaches down here, but whatever, dude. Whatever. Fucking the tournament after the Masters, the fucking down in fucking, Hilton Head. That's on a shit beach. That's what the PGA wants. We want a shit beach as our backdrop. You are the dumbest fuck in the history of our program.
I think he was on the.
What a dumb fuck.
I think he was on Uncle Lou's show last night. He wasn't saying this dumb shit yesterday.
That's because Uncle Lou wouldn't fucking acknowledge him. Uncle Lou would probably just hang up on him and fucking call him a fucking idiot and move on.
No, he was in the chat. I don't think he was in the call-in.
Well, he goes over here in that chat. There's enough Georgia fans. They may kill him. So
yeah.
Whatever.
On a serious note, I've always wanted to go to the beach in North Carolina. I've never, I worked for a solid year in North Carolina, an hour from the beach, but yet I've never been to the beach in North Carolina.
I'll tell you the ones to go to: Oak Island, Wrightsville, Carolina Beach. And
I want to go on the Outer Banks, so I don't want to go to Wilmington.
Okay. Well, Devil's, what's it called? Kill Devil Hill? Something like that.
That's a place where they flew the airplane the first time.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Wrightsville Beach?
Yeah, the Wright brothers flew the airplane.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just trying to remember the beach. I don't remember what it was.
No.
So,
the best beach to go to, because all the retirement people go there, is Oak Island. That's the best one to go to.
Yeah, I want to go hang out with some fun. Look at some old bitches on the beach.
Seaside Heights and Point Pleasant Beach in Jersey are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a mess. All right, Jared. Hey, man, appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for calling in, bud. Have a good night, all right?
All right. Y'all do the same.
Thank you.
All right. If you want to join the program, put the link out here so you guys can check it in here. if
The
you would like
waves,
to
the
join.
waves in New Jersey will beat you up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the further north you go up the Atlantic, anyway, the worse the waves and stuff are. Water's more choppy.
I like Folly Beach because I just went out where I went when I was a kid, but I'm biased. So I'm sure there's plenty of other nice beaches out there. All right, link is over there if you want to talk about the FPI and what they say about your team. And Jackpot, we're like, I think 5 weeks away from media days, man. I mean, we are in. It's like the big talking part of the season is now, but we're gonna know more and more. I mean, we're 5 weeks out, brother. It's not that far away. It's really not.
It's not that far. You know,
So anyway,
summer will go by. Summer will go by pretty quick. It hasn't been that hot up here yet. I don't know what.
brother. So it's crazy that you mentioned that because our pool at the club up here, where we go and play golf or whatever, that was our big thing is that we always go to the pool. It's too fucking cold. Like the water hasn't had a chance to heat up yet.
But I will.
mean, it is
I'll
cold.
say, Friday here it's supposed to be 88 Saturday, and every day it shows a chance of rain. But I mean, that's just 88, 85, 87. Yeah, so we're getting there. I'm sure that
we'll be bitching in 2 weeks about we're roasting and our air conditioners won't cut off. And
2 months from now or 2 weeks from now. Sorry, it'll be
just
it'll be insane.
All right, link in the show there. One more time if you want to join us. I'm trying to see. Can we rank these by? Yeah, we can look at these by. Can we rank them by? No, we can't do that. I thought we could move them and rank them by conference. I want to see who they had as the worst team in each conference. Kentucky's ranked 34th. Jackpot. That's interesting.
That is interesting. Whatever list I was telling you about teams improving or teams declining, they were pretty high on the list of improvements. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I think Mark Stoops is a good coach. I don't see him having that kind of a shitter again. So it could be that they pull some surprises.
Good evening.
Peckerhead joins the program. What's up, Peckerhead?
Yep. Sorry about that. I'm calling him from my phone, but somebody just had to get in and tell this stupid Vols fan his starting quarterback went 5-7 at App State last year. What are you in here talking to us about? Go pay your talent tax, you loser. You want to talk about everything but your quarterback? You talking about South Carolina beaches? You got a 5-7 G5 quarterback, and you're worried about everything South Carolina? Yes, it's a fucking joke, dude. It is a joke. Their program has slidden so far in the span of 1 year, and all these Tennessee fans can do is talk about every other team.
That is down bad.
When has it actually, outside of maybe Billy, I'll give Billy and maybe Gregory, when has somebody came in and said some real shit about the situation that's going on in Tennessee instead of just wanting to chat about fucking Beamer or South Carolina beaches?
I can't take Billy seriously because he missed the first half of the show.
Georgia keeps it real.
From watching fucking Gunsmoke. He's over there watching Gunsmoke and fell asleep in his chair. Missed the first half of the show. So Billy can't be taken seriously.
Well, and the thing is, Rob, and I'm sure you'll feel the same, Kale, I'm sure you'll feel the same. How fucking sick to your stomach would you be if your 5-star quarterback left your program because you wouldn't pay the guy, and then you replace him with leftovers from App State, from UCLA? I would throw up in my mouth. That would be all I could talk about, and it just seems all they want to do is avoid it. It is crazy. These motherfuckers pay a talent tax for their best players to up and leave.
Well, to be fair, there were a lot of us who thought that, the QB sucked anyway, and he's probably better off not playing there. But, there's that.
Yeah, the thing, we thought that, but not a single Tennessee fan thought that,
No,
Rob.
he's
Tell
out
me.
there buying the damn Lay's to
That's what I'm
NIL
saying.
fund his ass. So I mean, that
Open-
was.
Yeah, exactly. Up until he left, it was nothing but carrying water for Nico, talking about how good Nico is all season long. And now that he's gone, so replaceable. Give me a break.
Motherfucker was 18 Big Macs short of 200 pounds, but whatever.
Huh.
But yeah, somebody had to come in and say it, man, because it's getting out of hand. These guys don't talk about their team. They want to just sit here. They talk about South Carolina. They talk about Shane Beamer. They don't want to worry about Bobby Hill's grown-up ass and what he's going to do on offense. They want to worry about literally everything but their own team at this point, while also pointing the finger and say, all you do is talk about Tennessee. You come into other communities for other teams, talk shit about their teams, and then are surprised when they clap back at Tennessee.
Well, no, I think that there's I think there's a piece of the Tennessee crowd that, rides the what's the Sports Talk J campaign of, we were cheated out of this, or the guy that wants to mute when Tennessee sucks. He wants to mute other programs from talking about him. That's a section of the Tennessee fan base, but there's some ones that make some sense. But man, the other ones that are on that other side that, South Carolina had sand on the field, or what was it? Jeremy Banks was fighting in the locker room.
Yeah, we were fighting in the locker room, sand on the field.
And if Hooker didn't injure his leg, we still would have won, even though they were down by fucking 20 fucking points in the fourth. We still would have won if Hooker wasn't playing. Shut up.
Well,
and that bag of dicks.
Part that what pisses me off is that section of and he chirps about this too, blaming the Gamecocks for Hendon Hooker's ACL.
That's fucking ridiculous. He just stepped wrong.
The same team, by the way, who had eerily similar hits on star running backs and Chubb and Lattimore.
10 years earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the program that wants to talk about injuring people. 2 fucking knee-high hits on 2 of the best running backs in the country. Give me a break, dude. It's a joke.
I don't think that I was at that game covering it for the radio station. We were down right there. I don't think that they were gunning for his leg. It was a freak accident. I don't think that at all. But I am also in the camp of, with the other game, that that was just another freak injury too. So,
and I get that, but you can't also in one breath have that happening with your own team, and then fucking Hendon Hooker. Wasn't it a non-contact injury too?
Pretty much, yeah. I think he stepped wrong.
He just crumbled on the field.
It looks like he planted his foot and his knee just went the wrong way.
I think he just melted from embarrassment.
That's what I'm saying. You have a fan base who wants to take a non-contact injury, and they're still bitching about it 3 years later, saying it hurt their star quarterback. These motherfuckers almost ripped 2 running backs' legs in half, and nobody said a word about it. So that's just another point. I mean, all they do, they point the finger. They say, oh, look at your team. Look at how bad your team's doing. You don't have a quarterback right now. Give me, until you roll out that 5-7 bum from App State and see the trash you got. Listen, if he was good, do you think UCLA would have let him walk, Cal?
No. Well, I mean, I don't know how much money they pump into their football program, honestly. But
they got enough to get
probably not.
His name is.
If they really wanted to pay him, I think they probably could come up with the money.
And that's what I'm saying. They wouldn't be in the quarterback market after they had already taken a quarterback that transfer portal cycle in Aguilar. They wouldn't then be searching. That would be, you know what I'm saying? That's like taking old Bo Prabula at Missouri, right? Just to go out and get another person. No, they took Bo Prabula to be their starter. You're not searching for another starting quarterback once you get your transfer starter. The dude.
Well, hey, in an interview, this was just the other day, that Altmaier guy from Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean, he came out and said that Tennessee tried to get him to get in the portal.
A little tampering.
Yeah, I mean, dude just came out and told everybody that he was never in the transfer portal. But he said no. He said because I've already started something good here, and I've made a name for myself here, and I like it here, and they like me here, and I'm not a quitter. I finished what I started, so I'm staying put.
Well, and I
What the
guarantee
hell?
nothing comes of it. I guarantee nothing comes of it.
Well, no.
Well, there's fucking tampering everywhere, and not taking up for him. But John, it's funny that he just out and said it. Yeah, they wanted me to get in there. Fuckers. That's some fuckery there.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. You're not, if you I'll use UCLA, you can use Tennessee. If you believe you got your starter, you're not going in and trying to get another quarterback to be your starter in the portal. If they're going after Altmaier, still, that tells me Joey Aguilar's washed. They got what they could get because there wasn't anything left. I mean, there's no other reason UCLA would have let him walk for Nico unless Joey Aguilar isn't good enough, isn't better than Nico. First and foremost. I mean, you're getting a downgrade no matter how you look at it. And then you come down the fact the dude went 5-7 at a G5 school, and he's going to be your savior, lead you to the play.
I'll put this out there as an olive branch to you Gamecock fans. Can you imagine thinking, oh my God, we have Nico, who was a joke, or this fucking other guy that went 5-7. That's where our program is. You don't have to worry about that now. You actually have a viable quarterback because the financial backers seen what Sellers can do, and they made sure, hey, this kid's going to get the money that is going to be on par with being a great SEC quarterback. So you don't have to look down on the underlings of Tennessee with their quarterback situation where they had a fucko and then they traded him for another fucko that was a fucko at App State.
Exactly. And
you don't have that problem.
Well, the whole room is better. The whole room. We got a former 5-star as a backup.
You're losing me.
Duckworth, crystal ball to South Carolina. Cutter Woods looked like the real deal. I mean, Shane Beamer has a track record of taking 3-star quarterbacks and turning them good, i.e. Lenoris.
There was an alluded to the comment up here about Sports Talk Jay talking about Nico. He was talking about Nico. He made one the other day about Nico that talking about, he wants to come back to Tennessee and it's already coming out, yada, yada, yada. Well, he's not going to have the offensive line to play behind at UCLA. See, at Tennessee, he had a 5-star over on the right side of him and a 5-star on the left side of him. David Sanders, a true freshman 5-star, who's not played a down of college football. And then that guy on the other side that came from LSU last year, well, he might have been a 5-star coming out of high school, but he sucked. I mean, I think it was Pro Football Focus. Whatever you think of them, they rated him out as one of the worst offensive linemen in the country.
Damn.
I got to read Fireball's comment. He goes, what a joke is Sellers is going to get worse, and y'all are going to fire Beamer in the coming years. I don't know the fate of Shane Beamer, but I can tell you this from watching Sellers play every game last season and the stuff that I believe in Sellers. I think the only thing that can stop Sellers is two things. The cast around him, meaning can the offensive line block for him? Can they get somebody to run the ball, etc.? And Shula, the offensive coordinator, because I'm not completely sold on him. But as far as a talent goes, the guy's going to be a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah.
I've 15 different draft boards. He's in the top fucking 10. And you're just saying,
we got to see that.
He's going to suck.
He's right about that offensive line. I want to see that offensive line come out and be some damn big uglies and knock some people off the damn ball and open up some holes you could drive a damn dump truck through. Now, they played better last year, the second half of the season, than they did the first half, but it still wasn't good enough for me. I want to see, at some point the rubber's got to meet the road with this damn recruiting they're doing, which has been pretty good on the line of scrimmage, but the play has been.
But that's the things that can stop him. The offensive line, who they're going to throw it to, and Shula. as an offensive coordinator because I'm not completely sold on him. But as far as talent, the kid's fucking talented. He's better than Nico, flat out.
No,
Go and look at all these draft boards. They don't have fucking Nico on them.
No.
They don't. He's not projected. Fucking Walter Smith has him. He's like a projected as a 5th or 6th round pick right now. Sellers is projected to be in the top 10 in 15 different draft boards. But yeah, let's throw shade at him.
He's yawning. We'll keep on yawning. Maybe you'll open your damn mouth up wide enough to swallow your fucking head.
He's the best quarterback that Clemson will face this season. There you go with that. And I think he's better than Nussmeier. I really do. As far as his ability to make plays on the field. Now, I think his offensive coordinator is a shithead. I don't believe in your wide receivers or your running back room. As far as quarterback talent,
you just went from you had questions about the offensive coordinator to he's a shithead now?
Yeah, I think he's a shithead. I really do.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, everybody on Clemson's coaching staff is a shithead.
Well, yeah.
He's the head coach. He's the biggest one of all.
I go by his record, man. I think he rode Cam Newton's nuts to get his jobs.
Pretty big.
I think that's why he was an assistant. He was an assistant in Buffalo because it was a favor to a friend. Go and look it up.
Hey, well,
clearly he has no clue what he's doing.
Just said, Ron, but I had one more thing I wanted to say about the Tennessee man. If you'll
sure, please go ahead.
So, Kale, you remember the whole feeder program talking point we heard out of the Tennessee group for years?
Yep.
Yeah, so you realize now out of Tennessee's top 10 transfers, 7 of them are outgoing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the number for that on South Carolina?
What I mean, they've lost no one of importance.
Yeah, no. So I'm gonna look it up right now just to confirm. But
no starters.
All of our top portal.
Probably not. Nobody in the 2 deep. Nobody in the 2 deep.
This whole Shane Beamer's running a feeder program. I mean, that what is Josh Heupel running now?
He's feeding us.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the top transfers for South Carolina. Out of the top 10, we have 3 that transferred out, in comparison to 7 that transferred out of the top 10 of Tennessee. But South Carolina's the feeder program. Give me a fucking break. Your top quarterback left. Your top wide receiver left. I mean, what are we doing here? You no right to call anyone a feeder program ever again. I mean, they're calling us a feeder program when we're losing 2 people, 3 people a year. They just lost 7. So that's all I wanted to say. But
I like the vibes you're giving off tonight. It sounded like you might have knocked back a few, and that's good. It makes for good television.
Well, Rob, I did have to. I'm not going to let you slide with what you said about our hires because I don't know.
I think Shula's a fucking dummy, but
for 3 years,
sniff our jocks. No, we don't need to sniff them. We can smell them coming from a mile away.
For 3 years, Will Sweeney has been your director of player development on offense. What the fuck does Will Sweeney know about developing anyone on offense?
He knows how to develop them to get into a playoff berth.
Shit. He knows how to take a snap and put the fucking ball on the ground and hold it for his kicker because that's all he's ever done on a football field. And this dude's going to go and develop someone? Give me a break.
He had more time. Hold on. He spent more time on the football field as a player than his dad did.
Lunch Pool says y'all should be compared to Vandy or Kentucky. Vandy, is that the team y'all are like, 5-5 against the last 2 years?
I'm not letting Peckerhead slide with that. Will Sweeney spent more time on the football field than his dad did. And his dad won national titles, so slow down with that nonsense. All right, maybe it's a nepotism thing. I'll sit back and allow you to go with that. But to sit here and say, because he's a long snapper or a holder or whatever, doesn't mean that he has the opportunity to try to advance himself in football.
Well, that was
stupid.
That wasn't the only reason I said that he was a failure. But as a Clemson fan, you think Will Sweeney's the height of coaching that you can get? I tell you what, I will go to battle
with our defensive coordinator, who some say is a top 5 coordinator in the country. There's a lot of people that still love Riley, and the Jabbo Sweeney has won 2 national titles and went to the playoffs last year. I'll go with my coaches against your coaches that you have, which include I'll give you your defensive coordinator because he's done above and beyond, okay? And we talk about Shane Beamer being pretty good too. But in the end, you're going to come at me with the whole thing of this guy who's been a failure at some points and could be said he rode Cam Newton's nuts and others. You think that he's going to be just this elite level of coaching? South Carolina deserves better than that. They deserve better than a fucking fall off from Alabama, who went to the NFL and had some good years, but also had some shitty years. You deserve better than that. You should be pissed as a Gamecock fan that he's your OC, in my opinion.
All right. Now it's my turn. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you once. So first of all,
can I say something real quick? Fire Vols over there in the chat talking shit to SEC Dog, flexing a win from 2016.
Oh, fucking not.
The last time they beat Georgia was 2016, and he's talking hella shit about that one.
Okay, so
hey, you want us to show you how to beat Alabama? Well, show them how to beat Georgia, and then you really have you something to talk about there.
Sorry about Vanderbilt more than Bama or Georgia. I mean, what fucking 500 you said over the last 10, something like that.
Yeah, it's somewhere around that.
But Rob, I think any college football team is perfectly fine with having a former NFL offensive coordinator who won his quarterback the NFL League MVP, who led his team to a Super Bowl. I think any college football program would be fine with them as an OC. But what you did was, instead of addressing that Will Sweeney is, because what I asked was, are you okay? Do you think Will Sweeney? No, this is actually what I asked. I said, do you think Will Sweeney is the best man Clemson could hire for the offensive development position? And you talked about South Carolina coaches. I didn't ask about South Carolina coaches or even say South Carolina coaches was better. I just
maybe you didn't hear what I said. I'll go with our coaching staff.
So you don't think y'all could do any better than Will Sweeney, though?
I think that I think that Dabo is his dad, and he got the job because of his dad. I said it's a nepotism thing.
No, I get that. I just
it's a made-up position, in my opinion. It's like recruiting coordinator. For some, recruiting coordinator is a big deal because they can X out who they want to go and who they want to go after, et cetera, et cetera. And in some places, the recruiting coordinator does nothing but book the fucking travel for the coaches to go. So it all depends on where you're at, and
that's a fair point.
And what you're doing there. I don't know what Will Sweeney does day to day, but I'm looking here on the website, and as far as and this is the Clemson. I'll show it to you so you can see it, so people don't think I'm silly here. But Clemson doesn't list anywhere on their website about, as far as offensive coaches. All right, here you go. Meet the staff. Dabo Sweeney. Offensive coaches: Garrett Riley, Tyler Grisham, Kyle Richardson, CJ Spiller, Matt Luke. He's not even mentioned here.
Oh, you got to scroll down. He's on.
It's all the way down to the bottom.
No, not all the way to the bottom.
Coaching support staff.
He's on the coaching support staff.
There's old Ben Boulware, Taj Boyd. Cole Stout still has a job at Clemson. Fuck Big Six Stout. Yeah, he's on He's an offensive analyst. You know what? I apologize, sir. Why is this fucker on our offensive staff?
That's what I was telling you, Rob. The whole fucking staff is fucked, dude. I went through it and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Who the fuck is this guy? Corey Crawford, defensive player development. I have no fucking clue. Tyrone Crowder. That was an offensive. He's an offensive lineman. He was there. There you go. There's Drew Sweeney. Offensive player development and assistant wide receivers coach. Okay. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Though, if you go down the list, it's odd because it's a lot of former players, and then you got his son, and then you got some people who look like they've never seen a football, kind of like that Wes Goodwin look like they've never even seen a football game.
Wes Goodwin ended up
Billy
being
says,
terrible.
if I was
He
a
a
head
nerd.
coach, you damn straight my brother would be on staff. No, it's his son, not his brother. He damn sure he ain't bringing his
He ain't
brother
hiring his
around
brother.
young people.
Dear God, no.
Get him as far away from the university as he can. No, but
I'm looking
He's
at
the one
the South Carolina staff to
drives
see
a
if they
white
have shit
panel
people
van
on there.
and
They don't list the
shit.
whole. This is
I don't
their-
think we generally don't hire many former players as coaches. I don't think there's really any on staff.
Yeah,
who's
T-Rob,
Ben Burris?
the defensive
I don't
line
know
coach.
I'm not mocking here, but who is Ben Burris? He's a pass game specialist. Never heard of him.
I've
Our
never heard.
defensive line, Travian Robertson played for us.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Damn, what year was that?
I don't know who. Austin
About
Winfrey.
12 years ago. Oh, Spurrier. He was a Spurrier guy.
Damn, I can't
How long
believe.
has it been since he played there, Rob? Travian Robertson, maybe
Oh God, Travian Robertson.
2010-ish, probably.
I thought he. Robertson at South Carolina, right? I'm looking it up right now. I think you're right about that. I think it was. He's
probably there
36
when
now, so yeah, he got drafted in the 2012 NFL draft. So.
I was about to say he was there when Garcia was spinning the piglet.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, I was looking for. Let's see here. It doesn't even tell us like anything else about. I was looking for the Gamecock coaching staff, but I don't see any of these guys on there. Oh well, I don't know. I think there's some people like that get jobs and get roles, and they're just there to fill things in. To be completely honest with you, I don't know. I mean, Will Sweeney may be just going to get coffee and shit for people. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, all I'm saying is, you made a fair point that I don't know exactly what he's doing. But if he's doing half of what I think he's doing, I don't think he's the right fucking guy for the job. If that makes sense. If he does half of what I think his responsibilities are as a player.
Well, but under that logic, you're saying that former players, he may have been great on the X's and O's front, but he was too fucking small. We don't know that. I mean, so you're saying that you have to be a great player to be a great coach? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. What I'm saying is when he was there, I think he got hired 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Statistically, the offense hasn't done as well under him. I mean, you had a good year last year. I'll give you that. But I want to say before he was the offensive player development, he had some other job. I think he was like a wide receiver or something assistant. Like he is. I think that was his sole position.
He's an assistant wide receivers coach now. So.
Yeah, I know, but I think he got promoted to offensive player development like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
when he first was hired, he was.
I'm not just saying this to be the Clemson fan on this thing, but I don't know what the fuck his role consists of. I know that
I'm fine with that.
I can tell you from I've interviewed bunches of coaches and from the SoCon level up, and they'll all tell you the recruiting coordinator, the offensive assistant, tape analyst, whatever. They all of them have different jobs. One coach told me that App State had a guy that was their video coordinator, but his job was basically to take care of footballs, but they were paying him as the video coordinator because that's how it was coded. I mean, I'm just using that as an example.
Well, hell, Clemson's got a Gamecock on their staff too.
Yeah, that coach, right?
God, I
Chris
can't remember his
Rumpf.
name. Yeah, Chris Rumpf. Ask our good friend Dennis Wilson about Chris Rumpf. He's got great Chris Rumpf stories. They're both from Swansea.
Hey,
so,
but yeah, I think I've said my piece tonight. But somebody had to come in. That motherfucker was just talking a little too big to have a 5-7 App State quarterback.
Well, that's bless his heart, sir.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do. Bless his heart. Honestly, I'm not sure his keyboard has any more characters with the level this dude's been typing tonight. By the way, I think he just frictioned off every single letter on his keyboard with the amount of water he carried in this chat room tonight for the Tennessee Volunteers. So
Well,
go
crank
out.
out the chat band over there.
Yep, go
All right.
out, go pay your talent tax, get you a new keyboard, and come and tell me about how that 5-7 App State quarterback is going to lead you to the playoffs. Until then, go Gamecocks. Shane Beamer owns you. Shane Beamer is always going to own you. You better hope you don't play us again, Tennessee. Just stay far away from us, Tennessee, because we like to ruin your season. Go Gamecocks, baby.
Oh, that's all right, Fireball. I don't take any of this serious.
Yeah, I don't think that Jack like any of the shit. Well, I don't know. There've been the guy that interrupted Jackpot's stream last year. Jackpot might have slapped the fuck out of him if he were there.
Man.
Jackpot was mad as shit. But other
I
than
missed that damn touchdown. God,
that was the Missouri touchdown with Rocket
yeah,
Sanders, right?
and then when I got the TV back up and running, I mean, we'd scored and we're kicking an extra point. I'm like,
Jackpot was mad. He was
what the
mad
hell
as
is
shit.
going on here?
He would have slapped the shit out of that guy. It would have been funny. Can you imagine being on Jackpot's end, though, especially where that game was, where you're fucking, God damn it, we're going to lose to this fucking drink again. And all of a sudden, Rocket Sanders takes the fucking ball and runs it in, and you're like, oh my God. And then the fucking TV just turns off because of some dickhead. Oh, Jackpot was mad.
Yeah, we're gonna have that situation fixed this year.
Jackpot's going to, are you wiring another TV in, Jackpot? What are you doing?
Well, I've got that man cave area back there that I'm working on right now, so I'm gonna have a couple of TVs back there. So,
Couple of TVs, that way the phone doesn't end up fucking you.
yeah, well, I had 2 TVs in here too, but it's just weird. I mean, I've ruined several remote controls for various reasons. Well, I got mad at my teams for losing, and I've thrown some of them and broke them. Well, I've thrown all of them and broke them that got broken, I'll just say. Anyway, I control my Roku thing through my phone, and I had the wrong TV. I was trying to switch channels, I think it was, on one of the TVs, and I ended up switching. I don't know what I did. Something happened, but I blamed it on that phone call anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Hopefully Jackpot will have the live streams this year. We'll be up and running with Jackpot's ability to not be interrupted by the phone. So there you go. All right, Jackpot, do you have anything else you'd like to add to the show this evening, sir?
I don't. It's been fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do in the next few days, guys, and we'll see you. Someone's calling my wife right now. She has to get up at like 2 a.m. to go to work. Who the fuck? I'm about to go see what the heck's going on here.
Yeah, that needs to fix that out. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.
All right, guys.